All right, y'all, welcome back. What we're going to tie today is the Charlie Boy Hopper. It's a very productive fly. Can be tied in a variety of sizes and colors. What we have in the vise today, this is a size 8. It's a little bit heavier wire. I tend to do that with some of my top water stuff. The foam that we're using today is 2mm thin fly foam and cinnamon. For our binding strip is just leftover foam. You don't have to change the color. I changed the color just so you can see what's going on. The thread that we're tying with today is a dark brown and 6/0, and we'll be using deer hair and natural. We'll get started here. I'm going to take our foam. Our foam is roughly the gap of the hook. I'm going to come in, take my scissors, make me a little hole right in the middle of the foam right there. I'm going to pull this bad boy out. That's about 3/4 to a 1/2 inch from the end of the fly. I'm gonna come in, reset the hook. I'm gonna leave the long end pointed towards you guys for right now. It won't be there very long though. We're gonna come in with our thread. We're gonna start a thread right behind the eye. Get rid of that extra. Start working our way back. This is going to be where we tie in our binder strip. It's going to help keep this fly from rolling around on top of the shank. You don't have to do this part, but your fly is probably going to roll around. We're going to come in and tie in our scrap piece of 2mm foam. We're going to take spiral turns all the way to the back. We're going to come back to the front again. Like I said, this is just going to give us something to glue our body to. They don't have to be pretty. We're going to work our way to the back one more time. And let our thread just kind of hang out there. We're going to spin our fly foam around. Now this is an important part. You want to slide that short piece up. You don't want your foam to stay flat down. You want to pull it up kind of like that. You can see how it makes that little bend. That's an important part of the fly. Then we're going to measure right where our front of our hook eye is. We're going to poke another hole. Poke one on both sides. That way it don't tear the foam. Then we're gonna pull it up, push the eye through. There we go. Thread still hanging down in the back. We're gonna come in with a little bit of super glue. You don't want to overdo it on the super glue. It'll squirt out the sides and then create a mess. I'm gonna put some on both sides. Try to get a little where that bend's gonna be, and then I'm gonna come up this angle just a little bit. A little too much right there. Just spread that thin. And we're going to fold all this back over itself. We're going to pinch down, and we're going to use our thumb to keep that bend. We want that bend to stay in the body. Try not to glue yourself to the fly. Now that we're there, we're going to tie our segment in. We're going to do this in quarters. So we're going to tie roughly 1/4 of the shank all the way up. That way we finish with about 4 segments. So we're going to take 1 loose turn, 2 loose turns, pull and set. We're going to cross our thread over at the top and pull and set that. Always crossing your thread at the top. Pull and set. Kind of looks like what you got going on right there. You gotta go kind of quick. That super glue will set up on you, and once it sets up, it's there to stay. And we're gonna come in with a razor blade, and we're gonna trim this out. We want that to stay flush across the top. So we're just gonna come in with a razor blade, pull in both pieces, cut that piece off. Now we're gonna come in and cut tapers into the tail. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. I tend to go just a probably about an 1/8, 1/16 of an inch, and then trim in. Just to give it a little bit of edge. So you can see that's tapered down. Over here, we're gonna come in with some brown rubber legs. We're gonna tie one in on each side. You can probably cut one of these in half. That way you're not using too much material. I don't like to waste a whole lot of stuff. I'm gonna catch one in on your side. Then I'm gonna cross my thread. I'm gonna catch another one in on that side. That'll give us our good solid tying point. I'm gonna do the same thing on my side. Like last time, we're gonna cross our thread on the front or across the top. Set everything. I'm gonna trim my back legs just a little bit longer than the overall fly, and then I'll take my front legs and I'll trim those down to about the 3/4 mark in comparison to the back legs. You can trim these to whatever size you really like, though. It's really up to yourself. You come in with get us a decent clump of hair. If you're fishing rougher water, you can add more hair to this fly. If you're fishing it as a hopper dropper combo, you tend to want to run a little bit more hair anyway. Okay, come in, I'm gonna spread those open. We want to get all this under fiber out, especially since it is a dry fly. You don't want anything to trap that water and stay in there. Throw it in our stacker. Pull it out by the butt. Now we're gonna measure the overall length of the wing is roughly the length of the shank of the hook. So that's pretty close. I'm gonna hold those down. We're gonna trim these off pretty close to the edge. You'll put those right on the top. You'll take a loose wrap. One more loose wrap. Take a look at it. Pinch and pull. We're gonna work our way through those ends. Come with a whip finish. Seat those really good. I don't like to put super glue in my deer hair. So what I'll end up doing is coming in underneath with a little bit of thin UV resin and get my thread wraps real good. I'll come in and set it. And you can do a couple different ways. You don't have to put eyes on this if you don't want to, but it always looks better if it has eyes. So I'm just going to come in, permanent marker. You can tie these with rubber eyes too if you want to. But this is supposed to be a fast fly. We want this thing to be tied really quick. It's very effective. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Tie you some up, put them in your box. Don't forget to go over and check us out on Facebook and Instagram. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And if there's anything you guys ever want to see, like always, just leave it in the comments below. And until next time.